Okay, recently I've been showing you how a good affordable way to collect Wyvern cards and how you can build good decks just using starter decks. Um, and on eBay, you're just going to buy limited starter decks. You probably won't find Kingdom starter decks because they're going to be way too expensive. Um, these have already been modified. My black mark is I've basically made them a better starter deck. Basically, what I did. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two starter decks. I'm going to remove any cards that aren't in the Kingdom or Premier set or limited set, I should say. Basically, if it's a card that wouldn't be in limited, I'm not gonna use it because you're going to be building your decks. If you do this, you're going to be building from limited, and most of the Kingdom cards are also in limited. So I'm only going to take them out if they're not part of the limited set. For instance, Galahad is a Dragon Slayer that is not in the Premier or Limited. I think it's in Kingdom. I think it's also in Phoenix. Pretty sure. So what to do to make a better Dragon Slayer deck, sort of like slightly constructed Dragon Slayer deck, not top tier necessarily. So it's not going to be a great. I'm watching my cat right now. My cat is walking around here, checking things out. What you doing? Where are you going? He's gonna go behind the art. Okay, there we go. Who knows what he's up to? But it's gonna be like a themed Dragon Slayer starter deck. Basically, is what it's gonna be. So I'm gonna probably use. I'm guessing around 10 terrains, 5 scouts, and 5 other dragons. Because mostly I want to slay my opponent's dragons. And what we're going to need to do, because we're probably not going to have we don't have Jason in these decks. There's a chance when you open a deck, you'll get a Jason in your deck, which can slay any Dragon Slayer. Otherwise, you can only slay Dragon Slayers of 3 or less strength. There is a Dragon Slayer that can slay flying dragons, any flying dragon, and there's one that can slay any subterranean dragons. I've never really used the one that can slay subterranean dragons. It's called Thor. You can put one in, possibly, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to try to do here. So all these scouts are good. We don't need these two. Lately Worm, maybe. This is a maybe. This is a maybe. Sure, maybe. Oh, I've got to check on a certain treasure to see if it's in the limited set or not. Let me go check that real quick. Yeah, I thought Valhalla wasn't in the limited. It's in Phoenix, and so it's also in a reprint in Kingdom. All right, we might play Wyvern. We might play a big old fat Leviathan. We'll look at the terrains for sure. Automatically just pulling those cards out. Let me see what cards we have here. 4 possibilities. I'm going to consider Secret Treasure. Consider Pick a Treasure. I'm not worried about things like improving my attacks. I'm gonna need some dragons to attack with, and I'm certainly going to consider playing Armor. We'll forget about Catch a Thief. I could try to stop their Dragon Slayers. I don't think I will, but we'll put them on the side. These are not in Kingdom. This is from Chameleon. I don't think, but maybe. We're definitely going to play Heatwave, because 4 strength dragons and 5 strength dragons need to be weakened so that we can slay them. But if it's a 5, we've got to weaken them by 2 points. So that's going to be hard to do, but we're hoping that they'll hit some of our terrains, which is why we're going to play 10 terrains that all weaken the dragon and just hope that they hit them. If they don't, it's going to be hard to slay a 5 strength dragon. So Heatwave is definitely going to be in. We probably don't need magical healing. I'm just going to lay it in there for now. That I'll leave in there for now. I'm going to let go of the gold things for now. Maybe a treasure thief. Maybe Maybe we'll try a possession, because we do have to, we're going to get into battles, but I'm not going to be very good at fighting. I'm going to have a chance to fight with with a couple big dragons. I'm hoping to do it. Maybe one help card. I don't know. We could play sacrifice, because we're probably going to be losing some battles. Don't need hailstorms. Golden apples, I'll consider them as a possibility. I'm not going to bother with these cards to fight with. I'm going to look for magical swords only. Now, there aren't any in here, but I've got some, and I'll just put them in instead. And we're certainly not playing these cards. We are definitely playing Beowulf, St. George, Lancelot, Cadmus, who was the other guy? Sigurd, and the other Sir Lancelot. So let's open up the other one, and let's see what else we've got. So this is a scout, so that's a definite possibility. We're going to lay our scouts right there. So I think we've already got some duplicates here, though. Yeah, I have Typhon and Amphitheater, so we don't need them. And we don't need Mogre. We've already got them. I only need 5. We're not looking to dragons like this to win battles. Besides this, I think this is a rare, so we won't bother with those. We've already got Mokembe. We don't need these. Did I grab Wyvern? Yes, I have Wyvern. I want Celestial, the big 5-strength flying dragon. That's a good dragon to have. So we're not going to bother with Ceto. There's Celestial. All right, good. Glad it was in here. So Coral Reef, good. We could do some killer terrains. It's possible we could play a killer terrain, so we'll consider that. We definitely want the -2s. The -2s are really good instead of the -1s, because we really want to weaken them. This is not important. We don't need that. There's the magical sword. I'm thinking about 4 magical swords, because magical sword, you can win a battle if you've got a couple of those in your hand and you've got a big dragon. You have a very good chance to take out one of their dragons that way, because we don't want to just be able to win through dragon slayers. We have to be able to do something else, at least a little bit. So nothing here. Maybe a Fountain of Youth to buy us some time. I don't think we need more marinas. Maybe we'll go with armors, possibly as many as 4, but we'll see. Possibly a Marduk might be a way for us to win a battle. Since we're not going to be good at fighting, Marduk might be the way to go. Village might be possible. If they have things on dragons that we want to remove, we can remove them with Village. Not necessarily something that we need, but it's a possibility. If we're running 10 terrains, we probably want to stop their scouts from attacking. Once we see a face-up scout, it would be worth having a couple of those in the deck just to get them to stop. I don't think we're going to play a tsunami to turn up a card to draw a card, to turn up a dragon to draw a card. I don't think we need to protect our guys from Dragon Slayers. Yes, they will have Dragon Slayers in their deck, so we could run a Marina or 2. We could run a Knowledge, a Meteor Shower. We'll definitely play this. It weakens the dragon, so we definitely want that. This affects battles, so it's not that important. Although in a battle, this would give us one other way to win, so maybe we'll run one of those. Don't need more of these. We could run a knight. Certainly more Dragon Slayers, so we'll put all those in there for now, and we'll look at what we've got. Now, I might pull some other cards. Like I said, I want to run multiple Heat Waves. Actually, Heat Wave is normally not a very good card, but it is a card that can be used with Dragon Slayers. The problem is, we'll put another Marduk in. The problem is that you're using 2 cards to take out one of their dragons. I'm adding a lightning. This turns a dragon into a flying dragon, and then you can slay it with your Dragon Slayer Cadmus that slays any flying dragon. So that's a possibility, something that we might use. Not really sure if that's what I want to do, but I'm going to look at it. None of these matter. We're going to go with heat waves. Heat waves is the best way to weaken the dragon and then slay it. You are using 2 cards, but if that's the thing that you're trying to do the most, then that's a good thing to do. Then it is a playable card. Let's put it that way. And I'll grab another poison breathing if I have one here. I think I'll just run 2 poison breathings because, again, battles, it's a possibility. Battles are not what we're trying to get into, but we are going to be slaying dragons, and it's possible that with Marduk, we could attack a face-up dragon with Marduk, and then we can win that way. So these are just options that I'm looking at, and I think I took all these out. Yeah, those are all out. I only need, I'm thinking 10 dragons, 10 terrains. And the reason I'm going with 10 terrains is I want to weaken their dragons. I don't want to get into battles that often. I'd like to avoid battles. I want to focus on trying to slay their dragons. So I want 5 scouts. That's a big dragon, scout. I can't just go big dragons. I'll go broke. So I'm going to probably go with 2. Okay, so right now I have 4 scouts. I'm probably going to go with 2 big dragons. It'll either be these 2, because they're both 5s, or it'll be these, a 5 and a 4, because they're both flyers, and I can sit in the back row and attack from the back row, making it harder for them to get to my big flying dragons. I could go with him. It's possible. Ladyley Worm is okay. These are all based on losing, and if I'm going to lose and like it, but not die, so maybe the golden apples, but I don't know if I want to go that route. I don't think I'm going to bother with these. I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 dragons. 3 of them are big, so I might take out one of these big dragons and put in something smaller. Need 1 more scout. Now I'm pulling from my collection, but when you open up starter decks, you'll get enough of these cards that you can build a decent dragon slaying deck that will be fun to play. Just need to get a nice simple scout in there. So there's our 5th scout. It doesn't matter which scouts you go with, although I don't even need the gold. This guy's free. I was going to switch the subterranean scout because it doesn't matter for him, but he has to hit 2 terrains before you're up a gold, and the odds are that's not going to happen. So we'll just stay with the dragon that's free. And I don't think there's any other dragon that I necessarily want in this deck. I'm not sure. We might just go with 11 terrains. So the terrains, we've got a cliff, a river, swamp, pit, coral reef, don't want trap, lake, coral reef, forest. Does not affect flying dragons. It is a -2 though. So sure, we can try 1. We can try 1 moat for the -2 modifier. And then I'm going to grab, as well as that, I'm going to grab a mountain. Somewhere in here is a mountain. There's a couple mountains. So we'll put 2 of those in, and we'll put 2 cliffs in. So we want to really focus on these -2s to weaken them a lot. You know what? We'll go with a clouds. This affects flyers only. The other one doesn't affect flyers. They're both -2. So now we're going to go with 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not going to count these yet. 9. And then we'll do, it doesn't matter. You can do any of them. Lake and ocean. There you go. Doesn't matter. A terrain is a terrain. It's a generic terrain. That's all you need. So, let's see what I've got here. I want 9 dragons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scouts to go after their terrains. Because I can't slay their terrains, I don't have Seth. Seth is a rare that can slay the terrain. But I don't have that in here. I'm not counting on Jason either. So I'm counting on dragons 3 or less, dragon slayers that slay dragons of 3 or less strength. So now I've got 5 scouts to go after them. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go with this with Leviathan. And I'll show you why. Because 1, I want the 5 strength dragon because I got a better chance to win a battle with a 5 strength dragon. But then I've got to go with those magical swords. I think there was just 1 magical sword in the deck. Hold on, let me organize this a little more. Well, you know what? I can do it on video. It's fine. It's fine. You can see the whole process of separating your deck. So we're going to go battle action, and I'm just going to set them like this so we know each type of card that we're using for our Dragon Slayer deck. And again, I'm just making a kind of modified constructed starter deck. So it's still a starter deck. It's all commons and uncommons. You'll get a rare when you open your deck. And I'm trying to show you how you can make really fun decks to play over and over many, many times just for the pure fun of playing these types of decks. More Slayers over here. We'll see how many we want to run. Somewhere around 10 to 12. So those are maybes, all maybes. We need to build a 50-card deck. You don't have to build it as 50. You can do, like I said, you can do 35 and 15, I think is the minimum size for a basic starter deck. So that's a possibility too. So then we've got 3 treasures there. All right, let me grab, I think I have more magical swords over here somewhere, I think. We'll find out. We'll find out if I've got them. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to play with 4 magical swords. 1, it's not too expensive. My money's going to be spent on things like Sir Lancelot. So my fighting is just magical swords. I could add some firebolts, some dwarven armies, but I'm not focused on fighting. I just have to have a little bit because it's going to be hard to completely beat their deck with just Dragon Slayers. My Dragon Slayer deck, my constructed Dragon Slayer deck can do that. But I still have dragons to fight with. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right now there's 12. Let's see, there's how many of each? So there's don't know if I need 2 St. George. Maybe I can run 2. 2 Cadmus, not sure about that. You can go up to 4. I think in a starter deck there might not be any. If you're just opening from a pool of cards, there's no limits, but we're going to play with 4, limit of 4, because you really don't want to go more than that. I think technically in the tournament you could, if you opened up a deck and there were 5 copies of something, I think you could do it. So okay, so we've got a couple Sigurds, 3 Beowulfs, 2 Sigurds, 3 Lancelots, 2 Cadmus, St. George. I'm going to grab 1 Thor. Not something that I would normally put in my Dragon Slayer deck. I don't have Thor in my Dragon Slayer deck. But for this, I'm going to do it. It could be it could be a fun thing just to try. It's not ideal, but there's your Thor, slays any subterraneans. The problem is there just aren't many subterranean dragons in the game, but there's a chance you'll find one. But we do have another strategy. This strategy is both it could help me or could help me slay a dragon. It could help one of my dragons, or it could slay one of my opponent's dragons. And I'm going to show you that once I find the card. Just gotta find the card. All right. And it's a common card. Maybe it's uncommon. I think it's common. We want Seaweed. This is I never play this card because it should be free. It's weak, but it puts that -1. It gives the dragon -1 strength for the turn, which means I can now hopefully slay it. So we're going to drop 2 of them, just 2, because I don't want to spend it. But here's the card. Lightning turns any dragon into a flying dragon, and Subterranean River turns any dragon into a subterranean dragon. I dropped this on my big old celestial dragon. Where's my big old celestial? The tournament where I beat the guy who won the tournament was this combo. My celestial sat in the back row, and he couldn't get away from it because I could hit his back row because of Subterranean River. I can attack any card as long as the Subterranean River is on my big flyer. So my big flyer was now also a subterranean dragon, and he couldn't move his dragons to the back row to protect them. He had to swap them out. And then I either went in with Celestial or I just went in with a Scout. And I would just kept hitting him with this. And this big old dragon, he couldn't beat it. And a little bit of luck on my part. But this is potentially a very good card. It can be a useless card in your deck too. That's what's so great about cards like this. They can be good, but not necessarily. And wow, what the heck is? I got something out of order in my collection here, but that's okay. Oh, there it is. Now I see. I see what that is. Okay, so I think I want 2 lightnings as well for the same reason. But I'm going to go probably with 2 Cadmus. So let me just check. There's a Heat Wave. There's another Marduk. There's our Lightning. There's our Heat Waves. So we're going to go with 1 more Lightning, because that is another way to slay dragons. I did that in the tournament too. I played it on this guy's dragon and then slayed it with Cadmus. He was impressed. He beat me, but I had a moment there where at least I looked like I knew what I was doing. So that was a fun game. I don't think I'll ever forget that game. All right. So we're gonna go with 1 Thor and 2 Cadmus. All right. So that's in. We're gonna go with either 2 or 3 Beowulf. For right now, I'm gonna go with 2. 2 or 3 Sigurd, so 2 for now. Definitely 3 Lancelot. Could go 4 Lancelot, because that guy can pretty much kill any dragon, any dragon 3 or less. And with weakening them, I can pretty much slay anything. I think I'm only gonna go with 1 St. George. I don't think I need 2, so we'll let that go. We're gonna think about that card, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm gonna grab 1 more Sigurd. If I have one, if I have a loose one here, I might. And yeah, and so we'll go with that. That'll give us 12 Slayers in our little Dragon Slayer deck that we're building. And then the question is, for now we're going to put Beowulf over there. For how many cards are we going to end up with? We want 50. So 4 magical swords for fighting purposes, for battles. So that's 16. Right now we've got these 3 treasures. I don't mind any of them. This one might not need pick a treasure. I think we'll let go of pick a treasure. Maybe we'll put something else in. Too expensive. I've got to be careful with gold. I'm going to keep 1 Marina just to have a kind of a safety valve for my dragons. And it's either going to be 3 or 4 armors. We'll see if we need to lower that. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 23. Let's see what we have here. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, Not sure about that one. 35, because that's gold. 36, that's fine. 37, 38. Not sure about that one. I want a Zeus. 39. Not sure about that. 40. I'm going to go with one more meteor shower because that way I draw 5 cards. And if you're playing these things to put on cards and then to slay them, you're getting rid of 2 cards. And you're doing this and then slaying them, that's 2 more cards. So you really need to be able to get some of these, you need to be able to get some card drawing. The cards that say draw 2 cards, those are rares. Apollo and Whirlpool, you're very unlikely to get them in your packs, but you might get one or two in your if you buy a starter box. It's possible. So then as far as this, I'm probably going to lose some battles, so sacrifice is good. I don't mind having one ability to help. It's possible that I'll get my two dragons that can really fight well that way. It's just in one other way. This is another possible way I could win a battle by possessing mine or my opponent's face-up dragon that's not in the battle. The 2 golden apples and the Fountain of Youth will help play into these cards that you get something when you lose a battle, and then you leave them alone. I'm not going full tilt. I'm going 2 goldens, but you lose a battle, but they survive. I'm going to go one more poison breathing. I think. You know what? I might not. Yeah, I do want it, because if they're going to beat me in a battle, and I can get them weakened, that will help. That'll help weaken them to the point where I can then slay them. The question is, do I have another poison breathing around here somewhere? I might not. If I don't, I don't. You know, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna go with 2 copies of that. 1 hailstorm is fine. 1 night. Oh, 3. Nah, we'll go with 2. I don't want to go with 3 because again, I'm not focused on battles. I'm mostly going to try to slay a dragon. If I don't have a dragon slayer in my hand, I'm probably going to swap out. It is possible that I'll attack, and I'll attack if I have a scout to attack a face down card. I'll attack with them. So 5 is a good amount. Normally I play 3 or 4 scouts in a starter deck. And then my alternate way to win, can't just rely on Dragon Slayers, are these 2 big boys. And why did I say I want to go with, I didn't want to go with him. I'm going to go with Leviathan and Celestial. So let me grab other Celestial. So I'm not going to go with Wyvern, even though he is a flying dragon, which would be better. So let me put these over here. All right, so I'm going with these 2 big 5s, because 5s in the basic game are harder. They're harder to beat. You don't have to have a ton of battle modifiers to win. Those 4 magical swords could be enough for me. However, the reason I'm going with the big 5 and not Wyvern, who's a 4, which is still big, but that 1 point could make a difference, is I can put lightning on Leviathan. If I don't have a target, if I don't have Cadmus in my hand and I do have Leviathan, I could put lightning on Leviathan. Now he's a flyer, and I can sit in the back row, and that gives me 2 5 strength flying dragons. So Celestial's flying, Leviathan is not, and that way I can sit in the back. Makes it harder for them to take me out. Flyers are just better. They're not a ton better, but they're a little bit better. I might only go with 3 heat waves. Let me count this now and see where we're at. We're going to go with all of that, and these are possibles, maybes. Let's just see what we have here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. And I would like to have possibly one more Zeus to stop their scouts from taking out my terrains. So that's 52, so I need to pull. So I'm probably not going to add this because I do want to get it down to 50. I don't need these, so I'm going to let them go. I don't need Marina. I could keep Marina. One thing I can let go of, I don't need 4 armor. I'm going to go down to 3. This is just to give me one other way to fight. If they go up against a dragon and they're planning on beating my dragon and I can counter their strength modifier, hopefully I can win a battle this way. I could go down to 2 of these. That's the question, because again, I'm not focused on battles. It is my secondary way of winning in this deck. So now I think I'm down to like 52. 1 second. All right, we are at 51 cards. So the question is, what do I want to pull if I want to make this even 50? I could just leave it at 51. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm just going to look through them. Seeing so I've got 2 lightnings. I could go down to 3 heat waves. Maybe, because you're not always, oh boy, this light, I'll tell you. You're not always going to have a face-up dragon to drop heat waves on. I don't care if it weakens my dragon. My point is I'm going to use heat wave and then slay the weakened dragon. This goes away at the end of the turn, so it's no big deal. That really is the point of seaweed too. Also, I can do this again. I can put subterranean on this dragon. Now he can attack any card. If he's a flyer, he can only attack over 1 row. If he has subterranean river, he can attack anything. So that's another thing. Or I can put this on one of their dragons, on their dragon, and slay with Thor. But I've only got 1 Thor. So it's 1 for me, 1 for my opponent. That's why I'm going with 2 copies. So I'm not going to change that. Same thing with seaweed. I don't need this many. But this is actually, I guess the difference between this and heat wave is it only targets their dragon. But this should be free. I'm sorry. This should not cost a gold. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so though. I think it's too much. I could go with 3 Marduk. I could increase Marduk, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it at 2. I don't want to overdo any of this stuff. 2 poison breathing, that's fine. 1 night is nice to have 1 safety valve out. I'm gonna keep 1 Marina, like I said, for the same reason this last time. I'm gonna keep those. Yeah, for now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For now, I'm just going to go with 51 cards. 51 is fine. Let's see how many. Did I do this right? Is this 20? Ladley Worm, so she loses a battle. I can keep her alive and keep making him having a discard. Not very often, but maybe I can get two times. I'll make him discard a card at random. Maybe 2 times I'll get a card with Mokalambambi. I don't know how you say that name. Mokalambambi, something like that. This will get me a card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We do have 1 killer terrain. Got to be careful with that. Got to be a 3 or less strength dragon. You don't want a 4 strength or higher dragon hitting it. So as long as this gets hit by a 3 or less, it kills the dragon, which is just as good as slaying it. So there's our modified Dragon Slayer starter deck. See? It's a lot of fun. You can sit around and do this and come up with different ideas. And then as you play with your friends or family members, you get a more feel for the cards and how they interact with each other. You find cards that you like more. You can create themed decks to play against each other. Hey, you want to play the Flyers deck against the Subterranean deck? Because that's what I did. I created a Flyers deck and a Subterranean deck, and we've even got my friend John and I played that deck. We've made a video of us playing those decks. Just put Flyer versus Subterranean. Go to my playlist with Wyvern games, and you'll see us playing those 2 decks, the Flyers versus the Subterraneans. It's a lot of fun, and very, very cool. It's not like my best Flyer deck, but it's good, and it's a good Subterranean deck. So it's very, very cool. So that's it. This is one way to build turn some starter decks into a really good themed deck, or like I did last video, you just make a really good starter deck, an improved starter deck, and then you play with it. And if you're both playing relatively the same style of decks that you're just building from starter decks, make anything you want. You know, buy the starter box on eBay of limited starter. You'll get it for under $100. That includes with shipping. Some of them go up a little over $100. That's less than $10 a deck. And from those 12 decks, you can make 6 good decks, 4 really good decks. It's up to you. How many you want to use for decks. And I can't recommend it enough. It's a great way to play Wyvern. Hope you enjoyed my video. Check out my Wyvern deck techs. Almost all of my constructed decks that I have built are on there. You can see how I built certain types of decks. My most powerful deck, I made 2 scout decks. Those are probably my most powerful decks in the game. They are it's amazing that the scouts would be the best, but they are. Well, I wouldn't say they are the best. They are one of the best strategies for building Wyvern. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.